Welcome to Freema Audiobooks, a space designed to support your growth, clarity, and performance, not only through powerful ideas, but through practical tools that help you stay focused when it matters most. If you are working on something important right now, whether it is a project, a study session, creative work, or strategic planning, this audiobook was created to accompany you and strengthen your concentration rather than distract it. Today's audiobook is titled While Working Deep Focus, Audio for Productivity, and it is crafted to help you enter and maintain a state of deep, uninterrupted focus where distractions fade, clarity sharpens, and meaningful progress becomes natural. This is not a motivational speech filled with intensity, but a structured mental environment designed to calm the mind, stabilize attention, and reinforce disciplined productivity while you work. Before we begin, we invite you to subscribe to Freema Audiobooks, like this audio session, and share it with someone who wants to improve their focus and productivity, because consistent deep work is one of the most powerful skills in a distracted world. Before we move into the structured deep focus sessions designed to support your productivity, it is important to understand that this audiobook is organized into 8 carefully crafted chapters, each one built to guide your mind progressively into stronger concentration, calmer attention, and sustained high-quality work. Every chapter builds upon the previous one, helping you eliminate distraction, strengthen mental clarity, and develop the discipline required for meaningful progress, because deep focus is not an accident, but a trained mental state. Chapter 1. Entering the state of deep work, preparing your mind for focused productivity. In this chapter, we explore how to enter a state of deep work intentionally, how to calm mental noise before beginning important tasks, why preparation determines the quality of focus, and how structured mental alignment enhances productivity, clarity, and sustained concentration. Deep work begins long before the first task is executed, because the quality of your focus is determined not only by effort, but by the mental state you carry into your work session, which means preparation is essential for productive concentration. When the mind is cluttered with unfinished thoughts, notifications, or unresolved distractions, attention becomes fragmented and shallow rather than steady and immersive. Fragmented attention weakens clarity. Weakened clarity slows execution. Slowed execution reduces satisfaction. Reduced satisfaction weakens motivation. Mental preparation restores order. Order strengthens intention. Intention sharpens focus. Focus enhances productivity. This intentional shift marks the beginning of deep work, creating a deliberate transition into work signals to the brain that it is time to prioritize focus over distraction, and this ritualized beginning reduces internal resistance that often delays meaningful effort. Without transition, tasks feel abrupt. Abrupt beginnings create hesitation. Hesitation drains energy. Structured entry builds momentum. Momentum strengthens engagement. Engagement supports immersion. Immersion deepens concentration. Concentration accelerates progress. Progress reinforces satisfaction. Calming mental noise is essential because racing thoughts compete for attention and reduce the cognitive bandwidth required for complex or creative tasks, making stillness a prerequisite for high-level productivity. Mental stillness restores clarity. Restored clarity enhances reasoning. Enhanced reasoning improves decision-making. Improved decisions strengthen workflow. Workflow sustains efficiency. Efficiency compounds output. Deep work thrives in calm environments. Breathing intentionally before beginning work regulates the nervous system and stabilizes emotional state, creating a foundation of composure that prevents minor interruptions from derailing concentration prematurely. Composure reduces reactivity. Reduced reactivity preserves attention. Preserved attention sustains engagement. Engagement deepens immersion. Immersion supports productivity. Productivity builds momentum. Another essential component of entering deep work is defining a clear objective for the session, because undefined effort invites distraction while specific goals sharpen direction and strengthen commitment. Clear goals reduce ambiguity. Reduced ambiguity accelerates action. Accelerated action builds rhythm. Rhythm reinforces focus. Focus sustains quality. Quality enhances output. Eliminating unnecessary environmental triggers also strengthens entry into deep work because visual or auditory distractions fragment attention and reduce cognitive endurance. Reduced triggers protect focus. Protected focus strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains immersion. Immersion improves performance. Performance reinforces motivation. Deep work becomes more natural. Commitment to uninterrupted time strengthens productivity because protecting a block of time for focused effort signals seriousness and reduces the temptation to multitask or check notifications impulsively. Protected time preserves clarity. Preserved clarity enhances output. Enhanced output builds confidence. Confidence supports continued focus. Deep work becomes a repeatable practice. Ultimately, entering the state of deep work is an intentional process that aligns environment, mental state, breathing, and clear objectives into a unified structure that supports concentrated effort and meaningful progress. This chapter reinforces that productivity is not about constant activity, but about focused engagement. And when preparation is deliberate, your work session begins with clarity.com and readiness to perform at your highest level. Now that you have learned how to intentionally enter a state of deep work and prepare your mind for focused productivity, the next essential step is protecting that focus from the countless distractions that compete for your attention throughout the day. In this chapter, we explore how to eliminate both external and internal interruptions so that your concentration remains stable, your workflow remains uninterrupted, and your productivity reaches a deeper level of quality. Chapter 2. Eliminating distractions, protecting your attention while working. In this chapter, we explore how distractions weaken productivity, why protecting attention is essential for deep focus, and how designing your environment and habits intentionally allows you to maintain uninterrupted concentration for extended periods of meaningful work. Distraction is not merely an inconvenience, but a direct threat to cognitive performance, because every interruption forces the brain to shift context, and each shift consumes mental energy that could otherwise support clarity, creativity, and sustained effort. When attention shifts frequently, depth disappears. Shallow work replaces immersion. Reduced immersion weakens quality. Lower quality slows progress. Slowed progress increases frustration. Frustration drains motivation. Protecting attention restores control. Control strengthens discipline. Discipline sustains deep work. External distractions such as notifications, background conversations, and digital interruptions fragment focus even when they seem brief, because the brain requires time to reorient itself after each disruption, reducing efficiency in ways that often go unnoticed. Frequent interruptions reset momentum. Reset momentum weakens flow. Weak flow reduces satisfaction. Satisfaction fuels engagement. Engagement supports productivity. Eliminating interruptions preserves rhythm. Preserved rhythm strengthens immersion. Immersion accelerates results. Internal distractions are equally powerful because wandering thoughts, unresolved concerns, and multitasking impulses quietly erode attention even in silent environments, making mental clarity just as important as environmental control. Mental clutter consumes bandwidth. Consumed bandwidth limits reasoning. Limited reasoning reduces effectiveness. Structured planning clears mental noise. Clear mental space strengthens focus. Focus improves execution. Execution builds momentum. One effective strategy for protecting attention is creating a distraction-free workspace, because intentional design reduces visual and auditory triggers that tempt the mind to shift focus unnecessarily. Simplified environments calm the mind.com. Minds sustain attention. Sustained attention strengthens discipline. Discipline supports consistency. Consistency compounds output. Deep focus thrives in simplicity. Setting boundaries with technology also strengthens productivity because turning off unnecessary notifications and scheduling specific times for communication reduces impulsive checking that disrupts immersion. Reduced checking preserves flow. Preserved flow strengthens momentum. Momentum accelerates progress. Progress reinforces motivation. Discipline strengthens attention. Time blocking is another powerful tool because assigning specific tasks to defined periods prevents multitasking and encourages complete engagement with one objective at a time. Single tasking deepens concentration. Deep concentration enhances quality. Enhanced quality accelerates progress. Progress strengthens confidence. Confidence reinforces focus. Another key insight is that resisting distraction becomes easier when the task itself is meaningful, because engagement reduces temptation and makes immersion feel natural rather than forced. Meaning fuels commitment. Commitment strengthens attention. Attention sustains productivity. Productivity reinforces satisfaction. Satisfaction deepens engagement. Ultimately, eliminating distractions transforms productivity from scattered effort into concentrated performance, ensuring that your mental energy is directed fully toward meaningful tasks rather than divided among competing impulses. This chapter reinforces that deep focus requires protection, and when your attention is safeguarded deliberately, your work becomes clearer, faster, and far more impactful. Now that you understand how to eliminate distractions and protect your attention while working, the next step is strengthening your ability to sustain concentration for longer periods without mental fatigue or loss of clarity. In this chapter, we explore how focus stamina is developed through deliberate practice, how cognitive endurance improves over time, and why training your mind to concentrate deeply transforms productivity from effortful to natural. Chapter 3. Building focus stamina, training your mind to concentrate longer. In this chapter, we explore how focus stamina is developed, why sustained concentration requires training rather than willpower alone, and how progressively strengthening your mental endurance allows you to perform high-quality work for extended periods without burnout or distraction. Focus stamina is similar to physical endurance, because just as muscles strengthen through repeated exertion and recovery, the mind becomes capable of deeper and longer concentration through consistent practice rather than sudden demand. When attention is rarely exercised, it weakens. Weak attention fatigues quickly. Quick fatigue invites distraction. Distraction reduces output. Reduced output weakens confidence. Confidence affects motivation. Training restores strength. Strength extends duration. Duration deepens immersion. Immersion improves productivity. Attempting to concentrate for long hours without preparation often leads to mental exhaustion because the brain, like any system, adapts gradually to increasing demands rather than responding instantly to extreme pressure. Gradual expansion builds capacity. Increased capacity strengthens resilience. Resilience stabilizes performance. Stable performance supports consistency. Consistency compounds output. Building stamina requires patience and repetition. Short, structured focus intervals can be used initially to train endurance because concentrated bursts of attention followed by intentional breaks allow the brain to recover and adapt without becoming overwhelmed. Structured intervals build rhythm. Rhythm stabilizes engagement. Engagement sustains clarity. Clarity improves execution. Execution reinforces belief. Belief deepens commitment. As stamina improves, extending focus sessions incrementally strengthens cognitive endurance and reduces the mental strain that once accompanied deep work. Increased tolerance reduces discomfort. Reduced discomfort strengthens discipline. Discipline supports immersion. Immersion enhances productivity. Productivity reinforces satisfaction. Satisfaction encourages continued practice. Another important element of building focus stamina is minimizing multitasking because divided attention prevents the brain from entering flow, which is the state where effort feels fluid and time seems compressed. Single tasking strengthens neural pathways. Strengthened pathways improve efficiency. Efficiency accelerates output. Output builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes focus. Physical health also influences cognitive endurance because hydration, sleep, and movement affect the brain's capacity to sustain attention without fatigue or irritability. Proper rest restores energy. Energy fuels concentration. Concentration supports clarity. Clarity strengthens execution. Execution deepens productivity. Mindfulness practices strengthen focus stamina because training awareness to return to a single point of attention reduces wandering thoughts and increases control over mental direction. Controlled attention sustains immersion. Immersion enhances quality. Quality builds progress. Progress reinforces discipline. Discipline strengthens endurance. Ultimately, building focus stamina transforms deep work from a draining challenge into a sustainable practice, allowing you to remain engaged longer and produce work of higher quality with greater efficiency. This chapter reinforces that concentration is not fixed, but expandable, and when trained consistently, your capacity for deep, meaningful productivity grows stronger with every session. As your focus stamina strengthens and concentration becomes more stable over longer periods, the next level of productivity emerges in the form of flow, which is the mental state where effort feels smooth, time feels compressed, and work progresses with remarkable clarity. In this chapter, we explore how to enter flow intentionally, how to maintain it once achieved, and why unlocking this state transforms ordinary productivity into exceptional performance. Chapter 4. Entering Flow State, Unlocking Effortless Productivity. In this chapter, we explore what the flow state truly is, how it enhances deep focus and creative performance, why balancing challenge with skill is essential for entering flow, and how intentional preparation allows you to access this powerful state more consistently while working. Flow is the state in which attention becomes fully absorbed in a task, eliminating awareness, distraction, and self-doubt, and creating a seamless connection between thought and action that accelerates productivity without the strain often associated with intense effort. When flow begins, mental resistance fades. Faded resistance strengthens immersion. Immersion deepens engagement. Engagement enhances clarity. Clarity accelerates execution. Execution compounds results. Results reinforce satisfaction. Satisfaction sustains motivation. Flow transforms effort into rhythm. One essential condition for entering flow is clarity of goal, because when the objective is precisely defined, the brain can allocate cognitive resources efficiently without hesitation or confusion that might interrupt momentum. Clear goals reduce ambiguity. Reduced ambiguity strengthens focus. Focus deepens immersion. Immersion accelerates performance. Performance builds confidence. Confidence reinforces commitment. Balancing challenge with skill is also critical because tasks that are too easy create boredom, while tasks that are too difficult generate anxiety, both of which disrupt immersion and prevent entry into flow. Balanced challenge stimulates engagement. Engagement strengthens concentration. Concentration sustains rhythm. Rhythm enhances productivity. Productivity reinforces motivation. Flow thrives in equilibrium. Eliminating interruptions is particularly important when entering flow because even minor distractions can abruptly break immersion and require significant effort to regain the same depth of engagement. Protected time preserves momentum. Preserved momentum strengthens immersion. Immersion enhances quality. Quality builds satisfaction. Satisfaction deepens commitment. Deep preparation enhances flow because when materials, tools, and objectives are organized beforehand, Cognitive resources remain dedicated to execution rather than logistical adjustment during work. Organization reduces friction. Reduced friction supports clarity. Clarity strengthens execution. Execution builds rhythm. Rhythm sustains immersion. Emotional stability also supports flow because excessive stress or negative rumination divides attention and disrupts the seamless connection required for deep concentration. Calmness stabilizes focus. Stable focus strengthens immersion. Immersion enhances productivity. Productivity reinforces confidence. Confidence supports further flow sessions. Flow also strengthens intrinsic motivation because when work feels engaging and meaningful, satisfaction arises naturally from the activity itself rather than from external reward alone. Intrinsic reward deepens enjoyment. Enjoyment sustains effort. Sustained effort builds mastery. Mastery strengthens confidence. Confidence reinforces discipline. Ultimately, entering flow state transforms productivity from effortful exertion into focused immersion, allowing you to produce higher quality work with greater efficiency and satisfaction. This chapter reinforces that flow is not accidental but cultivated intentionally through clarity, balance, preparation, and protected attention, unlocking a level of performance that feels both powerful and sustainable. As you begin to understand how to enter and sustain flow, it becomes clear that productivity is not only about managing time efficiently, but about managing energy intelligently, because even the most focused schedule collapses when mental and physical reserves are depleted. In this chapter, we explore how energy cycles influence performance, how to align demanding tasks with peak capacity, and how to sustain deep focus without drifting into burnout. Chapter 5. Managing energy, not just time. Sustaining productivity without burnout. In this chapter, we explore why energy management is more powerful than time management alone, how understanding your natural rhythms enhances deep focus, and how balancing intensity with recovery protects productivity over the long term. Time is fixed and predictable, yet energy fluctuates throughout the day, meaning that 2 identical hours can produce drastically different results depending on mental clarity, emotional stability, and physical vitality at that moment. When energy is high, concentration feels natural. When energy declines, effort feels forced. Forced effort weakens quality. Weakened quality increases frustration. Frustration drains motivation. Understanding energy patterns restores control. Control allows alignment. Alignment strengthens output. Output improves satisfaction. Satisfaction reinforces discipline. Working against natural energy cycles often leads to diminished returns because attempting complex cognitive tasks during periods of fatigue increases error and reduces efficiency without producing meaningful progress. Misaligned effort drains reserves. Drained reserves reduce clarity. Reduced clarity slows execution. Slow execution weakens confidence. Strategic alignment protects focus. Protected focus enhances performance. Performance builds momentum. Momentum sustains productivity. Identifying peak focus windows allows you to schedule demanding tasks during periods of heightened clarity, maximizing output while minimizing strain. Intentional scheduling reduces friction. Reduced friction strengthens consistency. Consistency compounds results. Results reinforce belief. Belief stabilizes work habits. Productivity becomes structured rather than reactive. Breaks are not signs of weakness but essential components of sustained deep work, because the brain requires brief recovery intervals to consolidate information and restore cognitive resources before returning to high-intensity focus. Structured breaks renew clarity. Renewed clarity enhances execution. Enhanced execution improves output. Output reinforces progress. Progress deepens motivation. Physical movement also supports cognitive performance because circulation, oxygenation, and posture influence mental sharpness in ways that often go unnoticed until fatigue becomes overwhelming. Movement restores vitality. Vitality strengthens focus. Focus improves quality. Quality builds confidence. Confidence supports continued effort. Nutrition and hydration directly affect concentration because cognitive performance depends on stable energy levels rather than spikes followed by crashes that disrupt attention. Stable energy preserves clarity. Preserved clarity sustains immersion. Immersion enhances productivity. Productivity reinforces satisfaction. Satisfaction encourages consistency. Sleep remains one of the most underestimated factors in productivity because inadequate rest reduces cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation, and attention span, undermining even the most disciplined work habits. Adequate rest strengthens resilience. Resilience supports discipline. Discipline sustains deep work. Deep work compounds achievement. Energy fuels performance. Ultimately, managing energy rather than time transforms productivity from a rigid schedule into a dynamic system aligned with natural capacity, ensuring that deep focus remains sustainable rather than exhausting. This chapter reinforces that long-term productivity depends not on constant intensity, but on intelligent balance between effort and recovery, allowing you to work deeply while protecting your mental clarity and overall well-being. As you begin to manage your energy wisely and align demanding tasks with your natural rhythms, the next challenge arises in moments of pressure, because productivity is often tested not in calm conditions, but when deadlines tighten and expectations increase. In this chapter, we explore how to maintain mental clarity under stress, how to prevent pressure from fragmenting attention, and how to remain composed and focused when performance matters most. Chapter 6. Mental clarity under pressure, staying focused when it matters most. In this chapter, we explore how pressure influences cognitive performance, why stress can either sharpen or weaken focus depending on how it is managed, and how cultivating composure allows you to maintain deep concentration even in demanding situations. Pressure is not inherently negative, because moderate challenge can heighten alertness and stimulate productivity. Yet when stress surpasses emotional regulation, clarity begins to deteriorate and focus becomes unstable. Excessive stress narrows perception. Narrow perception amplifies urgency. Amplified urgency weakens reasoning. Weakened reasoning increases error. Error reinforces anxiety. Anxiety further disrupts concentration. Understanding this cycle restores awareness. Awareness enables regulation. Regulation stabilizes clarity. Clarity preserves productivity. Mental clarity under pressure begins with controlled breathing because deliberate regulation of breath stabilizes the nervous system and reduces physiological stress responses that interfere with concentration. Calm breathing reduces tension. Reduced tension preserves cognitive capacity. Preserved capacity strengthens focus. Focus supports logical thinking. Logical thinking improves decisions. Decisions stabilize workflow. Reframing pressure as opportunity rather than threat strengthens composure because interpretation shapes emotional response. And viewing deadlines as motivating challenges prevents panic from overwhelming performance. Constructive interpretation reduces fear. Reduced fear supports confidence. Confidence strengthens execution. Execution builds momentum. Momentum sustains engagement. Preparation also reduces stress because familiarity with material, objectives, and processes increases confidence and lowers uncertainty that often fuels anxiety during demanding moments. Preparation builds competence. Competence strengthens belief. Belief stabilizes composure. Composure enhances performance. Performance reinforces resilience. Maintaining single-task focus under pressure prevents overwhelm because attempting to manage multiple high-stakes demands simultaneously fragments attention and increases cognitive fatigue. Single-tasking preserves clarity. Preserved clarity strengthens execution. Execution accelerates progress. Progress reduces urgency. Reduced urgency stabilizes emotion. Self-talk during pressure significantly influences performance because internal dialogue can either magnify fear or reinforce capability and calm. Constructive self-talk strengthens resolve. Resolve stabilizes focus. Focus enhances performance. Performance builds confidence. Confidence supports composure. Recovery after high-pressure sessions preserves long-term productivity because sustained stress without renewal gradually diminishes focus, stamina, and emotional resilience. Recovery restores balance. Restored balance strengthens endurance. Endurance supports consistency. Consistency compounds performance. Productivity becomes sustainable. Ultimately, mental clarity under pressure transforms stress from a disruptive force into a sharpening tool, ensuring that deep focus remains intact even when expectations rise and time feels limited. This chapter reinforces that productivity is not defined by calm conditions alone, but by your ability to remain composed, intentional, and focused when challenges intensify. As you learn to maintain clarity under pressure and protect your focus during demanding moments, the next transformation occurs when deep work shifts from an occasional achievement into a daily standard, because true productivity is built through consistency rather than isolated bursts of concentration. In this chapter, we explore how to make deep focus a habit, how repetition strengthens cognitive discipline, and how steady practice turns productivity into a reliable part of your identity. Chapter 7. Consistency and daily deep work, making focus a habit. In this chapter, we explore how consistency strengthens deep focus, why making concentrated work a daily ritual enhances long-term productivity, and how habitual discipline transforms effortful concentration into an automatic and sustainable practice. Consistency builds mastery because repeated exposure to focused work conditions trains the brain to enter deep concentration more quickly and with less resistance, reducing the friction that often accompanies the beginning of important tasks. Repetition strengthens neural pathways. Strengthened pathways accelerate immersion. Accelerated immersion enhances output. Enhanced output reinforces satisfaction. Satisfaction fuels motivation. Motivation supports continued practice. Practice stabilizes discipline. Discipline shapes identity. Identity makes focus natural. Daily deep work sessions signal commitment to meaningful progress because protected time for concentrated effort communicates that high-quality output is a priority rather than an afterthought. Prioritization strengthens clarity. Clarity reduces distraction. Reduced distraction deepens immersion. Immersion enhances quality. Quality compounds results. Results reinforce belief. Belief stabilizes consistency. Creating predictable focus blocks at similar times each day reduces mental negotiation because routine lowers decision fatigue and makes beginning work feel automatic rather than optional. Automation conserves energy. Conserved energy strengthens concentration. Concentration improves efficiency. Efficiency accelerates progress. Progress reinforces confidence. Confidence supports repetition. Tracking deep work hours builds awareness because measurable effort highlights commitment and reveals patterns that can be refined for greater productivity. Awareness strengthens accountability. Accountability reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains consistency. Consistency compounds achievement. Achievement reinforces motivation. Protecting daily focus from interruptions builds resilience because external demands often attempt to fragment attention. And defending deep work time strengthens self-control and clarity of priorities. Clear priorities reduce overwhelm. Reduced overwhelm preserves focus. Preserved focus enhances productivity. Productivity reinforces confidence. Balancing intensity with rest ensures sustainability because consistency depends not on extreme effort, but on steady repetition supported by adequate recovery. Balanced effort prevents burnout. Prevented burnout strengthens longevity. Longevity sustains productivity. Productivity compounds growth. Growth reinforces identity. Over time, daily deep work shapes self-concept because repeated disciplined focus strengthens the belief that you are someone capable of concentrated, meaningful effort, reinforcing personal standards and long-term ambition. Identity influences behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. Reinforced identity deepens discipline. Discipline sustains focus. Ultimately, making deep work a habit transforms productivity from a struggle into a structured lifestyle, ensuring that focus becomes dependable rather than occasional. This chapter reinforces that consistency is the bridge between intention and achievement. And when deep concentration becomes part of your daily rhythm, your capacity for meaningful output expands steadily and reliably. With preparation mastered, distractions reduced, stamina strengthened, flow unlocked, energy managed, pressure controlled, and consistency established, the final step is integration, where deep focus becomes not just a work technique but a defining professional advantage. In this final chapter, we explore how to live and work as someone who consistently operates at a high level of clarity and productivity. Chapter 8. Living in Deep Focus, Turning Productivity into a Professional Edge. In this chapter, we explore how deep focus becomes a long-term advantage, why sustained clarity differentiates high performers, and how integrating all principles of preparation, discipline, and energy management transforms productivity into a defining strength. Living in deep focus means designing your professional life around clarity rather than distraction, ensuring that your highest cognitive resources are reserved for meaningful tasks rather than scattered across minor interruptions. Intentional design strengthens structure. Structured work reduces chaos. Reduced chaos enhances clarity. Clarity accelerates execution. Execution compounds results. Results build reputation. Reputation strengthens opportunity. Opportunity expands influence. Deep focus becomes strategic. High performers distinguish themselves not by working longer hours, but by producing higher quality work within focused intervals, demonstrating that depth often outweighs duration in professional success. Quality strengthens credibility. Credibility builds trust. Trust enhances collaboration. Collaboration expands impact. Impact reinforces growth. Growth deepens expertise. Expertise strengthens confidence. Integration of all focus principles ensures sustainability because preparation, distraction, control, energy management, and resilience operate together to support consistent performance rather than isolated improvement. Unified systems strengthen stability. Stability supports longevity. Longevity compounds achievement. Achievement reinforces discipline. Discipline sustains excellence. Deep focus also enhances creativity because uninterrupted concentration allows complex ideas to connect in ways fragmented attention cannot achieve. Creative insight strengthens innovation. Innovation enhances value. Value strengthens relevance. Relevance builds influence. Influence reinforces professional standing. Maintaining clarity across months and years transforms productivity into compounding progress, because consistent focused effort produces results that accumulate beyond immediate visibility. Compounding strengthens advantage. Advantage builds momentum. Momentum sustains growth. Growth reinforces identity. Ultimately, living in deep focus transforms your work from reactive activity into intentional creation, ensuring that your productivity reflects clarity, discipline, and sustained effort rather than scattered urgency. This final chapter reinforces that deep focus is not merely a productivity tool, but a long-term competitive edge that elevates performance, sharpens expertise, and defines professional excellence. As this deep focus session comes to its conclusion, it becomes clear that productivity is not the result of constant busyness, but the outcome of deliberate preparation, protected attention, trained focus, stamina, balanced energy, emotional composure under pressure, and consistent daily practice. Throughout these 8 chapters, you have explored how to enter deep work intentionally, eliminate distractions, strengthen concentration, endurance, access flow state, manage energy wisely, maintain clarity during stress, build consistent focus habits, and integrate all these principles into a sustainable professional advantage. When these elements operate together, your work becomes calmer, sharper, and more impactful, allowing you to produce meaningful results without unnecessary mental exhaustion. If this deep focus audiobook supported your productivity or helped you stay concentrated while working, we invite you to subscribe to Freema audiobooks like this session and share it with someone who wants to improve their focus and performance. Because deep work is one of the most valuable skills in a world full of distraction, we also encourage you to leave a comment and share what you were working on while listening, as your engagement helps this channel continue creating structured audio experiences that support clarity, discipline, and high-level productivity. Thank you for choosing Freema audiobooks, and remember that consistent deep focus, practiced daily, transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary progress.